This is Matrix Lord 212, guys, and my video got cut off, and something happened. I finally found the other video. Something was wrong with between my laptop, my phone, different things. I'm going to air the continuation to the Doctor Who Murray Gold composes song for 50, a whole long title. Continuing the conversation about the Daleks, going to be right now from that video. I apologize again, but I couldn't even edit it in time, and now I got enough views on there and stuff where I don't want to really alter the video that people have seen already. So this is a continuation from that video. All right. Sorry for the inconvenience. Take care. Bye for now. And while I like the sound of the Daleks, where we got to see all those Daleks in one area, I did find that I had a little problem with the episode where certain things didn't make sense. And once again, things were never explained. Like, how is Scarrow there? The Daleks and Daleks Take Manhattan had stated that Scarrow was destroyed. So we have problems. We have problems that there is Russell T. Davis's Doctor Who, and then there's Moffat's Doctor Who, and that's the problem. There is only one Doctor Who. So we have a problem where the showrunner is doing his own thing and erasing history or making his own history up and not following anything that came before. And that is a problem. It is a problem because, you are doing the show called Doctor Who based on the classic series. It's the same series, and now you're doing your own thing because you don't want to acknowledge that stuff. And the problem with that is that it's still continuing the show. So you have to honor what came before. You can't be the man that you are a fan. I mean, I think Moffat is a fan. He is a fan. He is doing a fan fest, even though he says not in his own eyes. He's doing all the stuff that he dreamed about doing. I mean, certain things you could dream about, and certain things you shouldn't do. And having a doctor between 8 and 9 is something you shouldn't do because it really pisses people off. Having Clara tell the doctor which TARDIS to choose really pisses people off. Having, Matt Smith's doctor be cold, where you just use it as an excuse where I just move forward. That is bad writing. That is lazy writing because you're making him cold and heartless. You can't turn the doctor into excuse my language, you can't turn him into a jerk where people are not going to like the character of Matt Smith as a doctor. I mean, you want people to like Matt Smith as a doctor. The way the thing ended with the Ponds, for him, you have to understand this. He had Amy and Rory and River risk everything to save him, to bring him back to life, all these different things. And when you don't get that in return, where the doctor doesn't break a fixed point to save River, or the doctor doesn't risk the universe to save Amy or Rory, it kind of leaves a black spot, if I could use that word, like the curse of black spot. It kind of leaves the black mark on Moffat's legacy for Doctor Who. It turns the doctor into a jerk, that he just doesn't give a crap to visit Amy and Rory or save them or do something. Nothing would hold the doctor back. The doctor would go against $1 billion to save Rose Tyler. It's the same doctor. I mean, you cannot just, alright, I'm going to move on. No. If the TARDIS can't travel in New York City, if the TARDIS can't travel to that time period, if it was the 4th Doctor or the 10th Doctor, they'd be like, you know what, I'm going there, and I'm going to find a way to go there because my ship is the greatest in the universe, and it should never be blocked from going anywhere. And I can guarantee you that there's a story there. There's a story there for New York City why he cannot, there's time distortions, and he cannot travel to certain time periods in New York City. And then the whole thing with River, where you have a vortex manipulator. So why don't you just go pick up Amy and Rory, have somebody carve a tombstone saying they died and they didn't, and bring them back? Why can't you just, why can't the Ponds just go on a plane and then the doctor just meets them in Cardiff or whatever and brings them back to the future in a way? And not that I want to use the word back to the future, but why not do that? There is so many things that could be done to bring them back home. It's kind of sad that Amy and Rory, like when they had the PS minisode, it's like Rory's kind of sad. Like he said they're trapped. And why is the doctor would you want to have your friend suffering and trapped like that? I mean, you just basically left them in the past. They had no money to use. They were basically probably homeless. And you just left them there. And it's like now they got to use their brains to, beg and whatever just to get food to eat. I mean, you don't just get that, and I mean, you just drop them in the past with no money, just the clothes on their back, and what are you gonna do? And it's like they would have to probably struggle and suffer for a little while before they can get established. And it's like reality. They would suffer and suffer and suffer and struggle. You can't snap your fingers until they get to be where they have some type of life. Okay? And then after a while, it looked like Rory enlisted or whatever, and then they adopted, and it's just a thing where they didn't want that type of life. They were perfectly comfortable. They had a home and everything, and now they had to do it again. And that's disgusting. And that's terrible. And they should be, hating the doctor for not saving them, or even their own daughter, that they don't acknowledge either. I mean, really. So, and then Amy eventually became a famous writer. But it was just it was a hard life in the beginning. Because you just can't explain to me that things were easy for them, and for the doctor not to make any effort to get them, at least they should have shown him at least try, and he didn't. And then another thing too, like River. Now, does he love her? Does he hate her? Does he just, she's there? I mean, does he fancy her? Does he like her a lot? What? I mean, it's just a thing. I don't believe it. When I saw the name of the doctor and he's like, he looks away, he's like, because it would hurt too much. I don't believe it. I love Alex Kingston, I love Matt Smith, but when it comes to Matt Smith and River Song, I don't believe it. It seems to me that his doctor with River, with the romance thing, just didn't fit. Okay, you have a young guy trying to have a romance with a woman that's probably 20 years older than him, and it just didn't fit. And River, Alex Kingston, a great actress, and she needs an older doctor, a little older. And he just didn't care either. I mean, he's saying basically that she's talking all the time, he's freaking ignoring her. That's freaking cold. Because someone who risks everything all the time to be there for him, and then he even says, he's like, where were you when I needed you? Like he expects her. That's the problem. He expects River, like a backup, to just pop in when things get the worst. And I think he needs to get out of that safety zone with that. I think, just like the sonic screwdriver, has a lot of uses, but I think he needs to get out of the safety zone of the sonic screwdriver. Yes, I still want to see the sonic screwdriver appear, but I don't want the sonic screwdriver to be a magic wand to solve everything. I want him to eventually, if he's going to open up a door even, he just tries to do it without the sonic screwdriver once in a while. Like the classic series where, and I keep saying classic series because it wasn't called the classic series. It was just called Doctor Who. But I call it classic series to distinguish from the back then. But anyway, the doctor used his brain, and a lot of times he didn't use a sonic screwdriver. So we need to go back to basics with Doctor Who. We need to let him use his brain rather than a sonic screwdriver every friggin' time. We need to, and this Doctor too, like, he doesn't care. He doesn't go backwards. They just said that David Tennant, when he regenerated, the 10th Doctor, before he regenerated, he held it back so much, and he basically reflected on all the companions. He checked them out, see if they're okay. This Doctor, they make it sound like he just never ever wants to look back, but then he calls up that is how it makes no sense. Then he calls up the Brigadier to hang out, and he finds out the Brigadier's dead. So if you don't look back, why are you looking back? And then they try to make it that Matt Smith's Doctor is like senile because he has a backyard and he don't know what's back there, like he doesn't see it like he used to see it. They throw stupid things in there that I can't stand. That when they said stuff like that in closing time and different things, like, and make it like he just can't see it anymore like he used to see it with the youth and everything. I don't like that. I want Doctor Who to be fresh. I want Doctor Who to be awesome. I think it is awesome now, but it kind of gets confusing. Nothing is answered. And I think that's the problem. You could probably list 100 questions that need to be answered, and Moffat probably will never answer them. And he thinks that they don't need to be answered. He thinks that, because he knows the solution, he knows the answer. So he thinks because he knows the answer, that he never needs to lower himself to answer it for the fans. And I think that's wrong. I mean, I could be wrong with my assumption of him and his ego and everything, but judging by his track record, he hasn't explained diddly squat. He explained everything he could possibly explain in Sherlock, but when it comes to Doctor Who, he just doesn't explain anything. And I really doubt that in the 50th anniversary, we'll explain every single question ever. It's kind of a downer that we have. If he does answer these questions, it won't be with Amy and Rory. It won't be with the 11th Doctor, and it's going to be with someone else. And that really, really sucks on so many levels. Alright, so this has been Morning with Matrix Lord, just ranting about Doctor Who. And I really want Moffat to answer these questions. I want Moffat to just take time and answer the freaking questions, please. Take care, bye for now.